Hi there, my name is Rafael Seid. I'm the founder of Kalapa and also the creator of the Black Belt Communication Skills Coaching Program and the Lifestyle Design Lab. I give change makers and activists like you the tools you need to create your ideal lifestyle, including knowing how to monetize your gifts so that you can be of service and make the biggest difference that you can in this lifetime. People like us who are committed to our own personal growth and development, as well as to being of service and leaving the world a better place than we found it, we struggle with some of the same things. For example, do you want more flexibility and more autonomy with your time? Are you tired of putting in your time for somebody else's vision and agenda? Are you in a situation where no matter how hard you work and how much time you put in, there's a ceiling, there's a limitation put by somebody else on how much you can earn? Do you have gifts, skills, ways in which you serve others, but really struggle to know how to monetize them? Do you want to discover what you do best, that you most enjoy, that most serves the world, that can also be your economic engine, and learn how to develop it so that you can have a positive impact right livelihood? I was totally there about a decade and a half ago and totally stuck. I hated marketing, mostly because I had grown up on the receiving end of countless manipulative marketing messages. And in my journey, I discovered the difference between the manipulative marketing that disgusted me and life-serving, life-connected marketing. I knew I had a lot of gifts to offer, but no idea how to find clients, how to let people know what I could offer, no clue how to structure what I offered, and very little idea about how to make a positive difference and feed my family at the same time. That's when my journey to become a conscious entrepreneur began. I hired my first business coach in 2006, and soon after that, I enrolled in an almost overwhelming amount of courses on business, publishing, video production, team building, and marketing. Spent tens of thousands of dollars on my own savings, and even incurred some debt, which I've now paid off, in order to learn this stuff and become really good at it. And one really interesting thing I noticed is that this particular teacher would excel at this puzzle piece, but that other teacher would excel at that other puzzle piece. And I started to synthesize all these different pieces that I was learning from all these different teachers. In 2010, I got my first business coaching client ever. A friend who saw what I was doing, kept asking me questions, and insisted on paying me. I taught this material online for the first time in 2014, and the business coaching clients just kept rolling in. It took me about 12 years to come up with my 9 steps for a high-impact right livelihood, the exact same steps that I'm doing in my own business. And now, I have clients on every continent except Antarctica and thousands of subscribers from over 50 countries. I joke to myself that my business has become somewhat like an automatic teller machine. Whenever I need cash flow, I know exactly what I need to do to create that. My client load is full. I literally have a backlog of people wanting to work with me. But better than that, I have a fantastic strategy. As one of my mentors said, I would rather have a fantastic strategy and implement it mediocrely than have a mediocre strategy and implement it amazingly well. And I have autonomy and flexibility with my time. And there's no one but me limiting what my income can be. Part of the challenge is we've inherited mindsets, ideas, social structures from past generations for a world that's changed so much. For example, when my grandfather was working, you could get a job at the corporation and just stay there for 40 years and then get your plaque or your watch, and you had job security. That job security does not exist anymore. I think it was my father who had about 8 different careers during his lifetime. And I know very few people who are working in the same field that they studied in college or university. In the old reality, you had to live where the jobs were. Nowadays, you have the opportunity to create for yourself a location-independent livelihood using existing communication technologies and this miraculous thing called the internet. In the old world, we worked to earn money to buy stuff. And there was some kind of meaning in that, if only the perception of belonging and acceptance. In our current reality, consumerism and the consumer culture have been exposed at being empty, meaningless, and completely unable to fulfill people's deeper psychological needs. Our consumer culture and our economic system, the way it is set up today, means that human economies are set up to outstrip ecological limits. The consumer culture simply cannot meet our deeper needs for meaning and purpose. But being of service can. So let's define business as the way I get to be of service in a way that's also financially sustainable for me. Once I saw the essential elements for clarifying a positive impact right livelihood, it became clear to me that sometimes people fail because they're prioritizing the wrong things. And sometimes it's because they're simply putting things out of sequence. For example, it makes no sense to launch your website before you know who you serve and what you do for them. In order to serve people like you in my audience who are hungry for this, and because I love sharing what I found that works, I've created a year-long course for 2022, the Social Entrepreneur's Roadmap. In this course, you and a small group of changemaker entrepreneurs will learn, implement, and support each other to put into action the steps for building your own business or improving your existing business. If you want a sneak peek into what the 9 steps are, click the link below to go to our registration page where they're all laid out. So having said all this, there are some very, very common mistakes that people make, and sometimes they don't realize that they're making them. The first mistake is thinking that you have a ton of time, procrastinating, not jumping on an opportunity that's coming your way. This course, the Social Entrepreneur's Roadmap, may not come around again for 8 years. Part of the context for this is that we have a year-long course that we're doing in Kalapa in each of our modules, and it'll take us 8 years to go around the wheel and come back to this area again. Another common mistake is thinking, oh, I can just Google it and I'll just figure it all out on my own. It took me 12 years to synthesize the curriculum in this course, and a lot of suffering, and it was expensive. I would love to save you time and just teach you what works. And possibly the most common mistake, and a tragic one, is staying where you are out of fear. I think for most of us, this is true that at the end of our life, we want to have as few regrets as possible. And you're much more likely to regret the things you didn't do than the things you did. So if this is the time for you, I encourage you to just jump on it, go to our registration page, and just check it out. And there's good news and bad news. The good news is you can go check it out. The bad news is you cannot actually sign up for Social Entrepreneur's Roadmap, but you can sign up for a question and answer call. So the way that we're doing the enrollment process is we're inviting people like you to come to these Q&A calls so that I can get to know you better, you can ask me questions, get to know me better, you can ask me all the questions you want about the course. And if we both decide that yes, this course is a good match for you and you're a good match for this course, then we move forward, and we're gonna start in January 2022 with a Social Entrepreneur's Roadmap, 9 steps for a high impact right livelihood. I'm so excited for this course, and I hope to get to see you there.